Every day I am getting one step closer to having another healthy baby, and Caraway Home is helping me do that. Their ceramic, naturally slick surface cookware allows you to cook with minimal butter. They're very easy to clean, just a little warm water, you wipe it down. And the best part is that Caraway products are made without any toxic materials like BFASs, BTFEs, and a bunch of other things like I can't even pronounce. So you don't have to worry about that. Right now, visit carawayhome.com/TSFS to take advantage of this limited time offer for 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive to my Sarah Fraser Show listeners. So visit carawayhome.com/TSFS or use code TSFS at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. It's time for you to see what all the fuss is about, read about their 5-star reviews, and why so many TSFS fans buy Caraway Home. Order now.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. An unlikely friendship begins in the Paramount Plus original movie Little Wing, starring Brooklyn Prince with Kelly Riley and Brian Cox. Reeling from her parents' divorce, Caitlin steals a valuable bird to save her home, but instead forms a bond with the owner, leading to a new outlook on life. Little Wing, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. Head to ParamountPlus.com to try it free. Rated PG-13.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Get in, loser! Mean Girls is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Join Katie Heron as she meets the plastics in Tina Fey's new twist on the modern classic. Get ready for more of the rumors, backstabbing, and jokes you loved from the original movie with some fetch surprises. Rated PG-13. Wear pink and head to ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
Frasiac podcast listeners. Podcaster David Yontef joins the show today, and David and I break down everything that has come out with the lawsuits of Rachel Levis against Ariana and Tom Sandoval with the revenge porn. Do they really have a case? Does Rachel even have a case against Tom Sandoval and Leah McSweeney? Where do we stand today with Leah's lawsuit against Andy Cohen? Here's David.
I am in Maine. It is beautiful. You know, we live West Coast now, David. So I'm back here East Coast, and I know you're in the Hamptons, darling.
Darling, I'm 1/3 West Coast. Please don't say I'm an LA person. I will literally.
Really?
I love it here, but it's like, you know what it is? I went out the other night, and oh God, here she goes again. A lot of people here are just like human waste. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you talk to some of these people and you're like, I just can't. Like, nobody is fucking home. You ever have that experience?
There's no one home?
Yeah, you're like having a conversation. Like, at least on the East Coast, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end to the conversation. Here in LA, it's like the lights are not on. You're physically standing in front of someone having a conversation, and it's like, is anybody home? Yeah.
It sounded like, wait, do you have a guest over? It sounded like someone's voice just like popped in. Was that weird? Did you hear that?
Oh my, Sarah, that means that we are being recorded and someone is listening in.
Are we being spied on? Is this going to be a lawsuit like Rachel Levis has filed against Ariana and Tom?
I mean, a lot of people are liking this one. A lot of people are like, the two of you ran. Listen, a lot of people hate that woman, Rachel Levis. But a lot of comments are like, you know, these two ran their mouths and everyone profited, and she just laid in wait and had her strategy with Garagos and Friedman, and here she is. What do you think about all this with this lawsuit?
We have a lot to get to. Because I need all your theories. I need your crystal ball.
You like it?
What's that?
You like the lawsuit with Miss Levis?
Is there any merit to it? So so the lawsuit is filed against Ariana, Tom Sandoval, and there's a lot of things in it. I've just been like, reading. I mean, it's everything from spying, from, revenge porn,
which is Ariana. There's different claims. Like Tom really, I believe, like Tom didn't do I did a mini show on this the other day. Like the claims against, to me, Ariana are stronger than the claims against Tom, because the claims against Tom are eavesdropping and
Yes.
spying and invasion of privacy, because Tom recorded it without her knowing it. Tom is not being charged with revenge porn. To be charged with revenge porn, you have to disseminate the porn. And he never disseminated. He never sent it to anyone that we know of. So Ariana is being charged with the revenge porn because she disseminated it to A, herself, and B, Rachel, which is dissemination. Now, we don't know who else Ariana sent it to. And that is where, if we find out that is tons of people and it is out there in the ethernet, the suit can get, I mean, Raquel has also posted, there's these two legal experts on some show talking about how there's $1 billion case precedent out there for revenge porn. So Miss Levis has reposted this, and it's like, slow down, Miss Levis, slow down. I don't think you're getting $1 billion. But the claims against Tom are the invasion of privacy and the eavesdropping and all of that, not revenge porn against Tom. And so those claims have much less of a punishment normally than revenge porn. So the case, like Ariana is the one that could be facing something bigger, but we just don't know. Then we get into damages. Like, what are the damages? You know what I mean? Like, she'll claim she had to leave the show.
She was in a mental health facility.
Mental health, right.
Like
so she'll claim all of that. And Ariana's defense and Tom's defense will most likely be, well, didn't you do this to yourself? You chose to have the affair. That's going to be their defense. So this is an interesting one. Mind you, Garagos and Freeman have come right out of the bat saying she had an affair. Okay, that's, not really a moral thing to do, but it certainly ain't illegal. So they're already dealing with this. And I mean, this one's, Lisa Vanderpump gets stopped by TMZ and she's like, darling, why didn't she include me in the lawsuit? I think this is utterly ridiculous.
Well, Lisa said she didn't send it to me, and, you did it, basically is what she's saying. You're guilty. You did it. You put yourself on camera. You had the affair, and, the paparazzi is saying, but it's awful. And she, Lisa's really good. Lisa says the whole thing is awful. I mean, I thought the most interesting part, though, of this lawsuit was all the other allegations in between. That basically the whole friend group knew of the affair, that it was pretty widely known, including Ariana. They didn't try to really keep it a secret. That Ariana, Sandoval, they all kind of leaked it to producers to keep this show going. I didn't know this. Did you already know this, that Ariana was allegedly on the chopping block from that show?
That is what we heard. Yeah. I mean, I have heard that. I've heard that before, that Lisa said to her, you better figure something out. You better come up with a storyline or you're on the chopping block.
Okay. So, I didn't know that, but that's alleged in the lawsuit. And so Ariana, knew this was happening, was part of the demise, was happy to see it all crumble and Rachel's life blow up because these people have nothing else but the show.
I mean, all that's true, right? I mean, what do they have? I mean, I guess I didn't need to have such a harsh reaction to my little friends over there at Vanderpump Rules, but I mean, Tom has his band. Now Ariana has Broadway. Lala has Give Them Lala Beauty. Does that still, no offense. I guess Sheena has Good as Gold that sells 3 copies. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. What the hell does Schwartzy have? The bar, I guess.
But wait, you had sent me an article.
Talk to me. I don't know what the kids are going to do when the show is over. They better be saving. Ariana says she wants to create generational wealth. So I hope that she has saved some of the money.
Oh, me too. Because you know what? On this lawsuit, she could spend $1 million in legal fees. Easily.
That's the thing. So to have, it is true. More money, more problems. Like, I'm happy just living a quiet life over here behind the velvet rope with all these listeners. You made all this money and now you have to get a lawyer when you're sued. And, if the other person doesn't have a ton of money and it's a pissing contest, you'll get a lawyer and you'll win eventually. But Here we have someone who is most likely having lawyers that she's not paying, right? I mean, I'm assuming that they took this contingency, like that McSweeney girl over there with that 109-page document in New York, that she ain't paying for nothing. So once you have a contingent lawyer, chances are they're not going to take it. Look, a lawyer is taking a case contingent for one of two reasons. 99% because they see a huge payday, right? A lawyer is going to look at the case and say, we're not taking this. We're going to spend 8,000 hours, contingent, and we're going to get paid zero. They do it like Mr. Girardi when it's like an Aaron Brockovich and they see like, hey, I'm going to make like $30 million and then I'm going to defraud everyone and get Erica and, whatever. But the only other thing they could be doing it for is fame. And it's like, does Garagos need his name out there? Does Friedman, their name is out there. They are a little bit of grandstanders. I mean, good lawyers are grandstanders, but are they taking this just for the sake of taking it? And I think they might see some judgment coming, right? I don't know.
They must. To your point, I guess, Garagos is an interesting one. I told you LA Times, who I love to follow for entertainment shows, did a long thing on Kesha, and he and Kesha at some point did not get along. She had to fire him because, she alleges there was a lot of missteps by him, his office, in her case with Dr. Luke.
And now she's free, Kesha. She is holding up signs that say free with Morgan Wade and Kyle Richards out at dinner.
Kyle Richards. It's just so fascinating. And I'm so curious to see where this goes. Obviously, Rachel Levis now, because we thought, well, if the ratings dip on VPR, she'll be back. I don't think she's ever coming back now.
You know what I find interesting? Like, lawsuits, everyone gets up in arms. You're like, slow down. It's a whole process. It takes about a year to sue somebody. I wonder if people have said, all along, oh, she's suing. That's why she's not going back. I just wonder if she spoke to Garagos. I just had Rachel Yucatel on my Patreon. And because Rachel has been involved in many, many lawsuits, which she talks about. She also dated PK. So if you want, Rachel had some gossip about PK and what he's doing over here on the streets of Beverly Hills. So you should listen to my Patreon on that one. But I wonder if Garagos and Friedman got a hold of her a year ago, because it's now a year since, and they're like, listen, this is what you need to do. A, you're not going back to the show, but I want to. Forget your 300,000. We're going for way bigger than that. B, check yourself into the Meadows. C, when you want to leave the Meadows in 2 weeks and go to fuck Tom, stay there. You're not leaving for 3 months, so get used to it. 4, dump Sandoval. Don't ever speak to him again. 5, lose Lisa Vanderpump's number. Anything you say to her can and will be used again. I just wonder if,
Quick pause to thank a sponsor. Right now, when you go to oneskin.co and you enter the promo code TSFS, you're getting 15% off. Oh, I love a discount. And I love products that actually work. You want to see how my skin looks? I've been using OneSkin for months now. Their eye cream and their face cream. They're known for their OS01 peptide, baby, proprietary, because their creams get to the cells, those zombie cells, the ones that age, that suck you, that make you have all these deep wrinkles. Not today, OneSkin. Love them. And I've been using it. The thing I love most about them is fragrance free. You can read their 5-star reviews on their website. They have numerous. They have products for men and women, and they did their own independent study. 87% of users that used their lotions for face and eye saw improved results. Go and check out OneSkin. It's the world's first skin longevity company, and by focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using the code TSFS at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with the code TSFS. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please say the Sarah Fraser Show. New year, healthier skin. That's OneSkin. Help your skin stay younger and healthier for longer with OneSkin. I call him the no-Zempic, been on Ozempic doctor. I'm talking about Dr. Applin and his wife who founded My Optimal Body. I am so happy about this. These are the first mindful eating-based doctors I have ever partnered with. They see patients nationwide, and they are seeing more patients who have been on Ozempic, and Ozempic has failed for them. What makes My Optimal Body so unique, and why am I endorsing them? It's because Dr. Applin actually looks at food additives, your addiction to food, your mental health. They do a whole look at you, including your gut health. Many of Dr. Applin's patients are working out, restricting their diets, and still gaining weight. Why is that? Because something's going on in your body and with your mind. Visit myoptimalbody.com to request an appointment. Be sure to tell them the Sarah Fraser Show sent you so you can qualify for a free personalized assessment, plus a bonus free 30-day supply of their gut repair product when you sign up for a customized plan. Again, that's myoptimalbody.com to request an appointment.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Does Monday at the office feel like a storm? Not with Microsoft Copilot. That feeling when Copilot gets everyone up to speed instantly? It's sunny again. When Copilot simplifies complex data so your teams can act, that sun's shining on a beach. And when Copilot uncovers hidden insights, you're on that beach with your people, and you find buried treasure. That's Microsoft Copilot. Learn more at Microsoft.com/AI for all.
We'll see, right? Like, I'm not saying that she doesn't have a case, that she doesn't deserve this. I just wonder if this is like laying in wait and let's lay the documentation over the last year and then strike on the 1-year anniversary of Scandoval. I don't know. Seems like a very calculated and planned out to me, no?
Yeah, very, very good timing. What do you make of, do you think she'll be able to keep her podcast? See, because we'll get into Bethenny shutting down Rewives, which I have a whole theory about that.
Oh, I got some theories about that one too.
Oh, I want to hear them. I love you.
Look how excited she is. When you even think I'm going to say something not pleasant about Bethenny, you get so excited. Go on.
Don't you think, because when you do a lawsuit like this, everything you talk about, which by the way, this makes a lot of sense because you and I had reached out to some representatives of Rachel Levis's early on.
Yes.
Made some inroads to potentially interview her. And then, like, crickets. We didn't hear a thing, honey. They didn't even say, we're not doing interviews at this time, like dead. And I mean, we emailed and followed up for a long time. So how can she, don't you feel like the podcast is a huge liability? Because they're going to be listening to every episode.
I mean, look, everything you say can and will be used against you. We'll talk about Kyle in a minute. Now some words are coming back to haunt her about having an affair. Yeah, I mean, look, Erica said on podcasts has been used in her, Tom Girardi's suit, everything on the TV. Yeah, I mean, look, she better really think about what she's saying. I wonder, because, when her podcast came out, I can't remember if the first episode was up or a teaser, but there was this narrative that like her lawyers didn't approve of the episode. So I wonder, I mean, if she was smart, every episode would be run by Friedman or Garagos. Now, I mean, they'll sit there and listen to a podcast for their $1,200 an hour. Add that to the bill, contingent, but that's okay. We're going to get however many dollars. I think they still keep track of their hours and they're like, did we make or lose money on this? But I bet you every episode of that podcast is being listened to by the two of them or someone on their team. Lower level. Ask me, then we'll go on.
Yeah, because we have a lot to cover. Last question on this though. Okay, so speaking of big cash payout, with suing Tom individually and Ariana, all right, for as much money as we think they've made, which they've each made, let's say Ariana now has made 3 million, 4 million, which is a lot of money.
You love to like just give people money. You have the two tits making 2 million each. And I'm like, in what world? Now you got this Ariana making $4 million. Maybe my view of money is just fucking skewed. I don't think it's that much, but go on.
All right.
Sorry.
I'll come down. Let's say she's made 2 or 3 million. Okay.
2, I would say.
2 million. You know, to your point, right? Of like all the work Garagos, what is Ariana really going to get? Because let's say they don't even go to court.
And 2 million ain't 2 million. It's like 1.1 after taxes, 1.2. Okay. And then you've lived and spent some of it.
Let's say they settle for like 600,000 that Sandoval and Ariana have to pay together. Okay, 300 easily is going to be Garagos's fee and that other law firm.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get a third.
You know what I'm saying? How much money can she really get? Like, you know,
I don't get it either.
Right?
Well, the others.
NBC, Universal, because the pockets are so deep, right?
Well, will she? Because what I found interesting is you refer to all this other stuff in this lawsuit. I found all the other stuff. I don't understand it. Like, it's so superfluous. Like, why are we talking about James Kennedy kicking a dog? Like, what the hell does that have to do with this lawsuit? He kicked the family dog. He got mad at the Levisses and kicked the thing 4 times. According to Raquel, I used to have some yappas on my show, but the Bacas are gone. But, you know, to me, it's like, it seemed like they're setting up to sue because there's so much talk about like James is protected and Lisa knew and Bravo knew and they knew that if this violent behavior, like, so what is the point of putting all this in there? That's a lawsuit against NBC and Bravo and Evolution and Alex Basket and Andy and the parent, you know what I mean? Like, is she getting ready to sue all these other people? Sounds like it from this thing to me. Don't you think?
Well, that's the speculation I've seen online is get ready. There's going to be more lawsuits against Bravo, NBC, Andy over the next, probably Evolution, like you said, Alex.
I wonder if you saw that on my YouTube, because I just had a little mini chat like this with myself and this lovely audience. I've heard from a very reliable, I think maybe it was with Rachel on the Patreon. I've heard from a reliable source that things are coming down the pike from Mr. Cohen, more suits. And Bravo.
Well, unfortunately, I'd heard this from a TikToker. I'm not on your Patreon, but I know.
Excuse me, honey. We might have to stop these.
I got this for free on TikTok.
You're lucky, babes. You get this for free too. You get this right here for free, as do all these wonderful people, except for those that pay for the bonus show.
The bonus show is worth it. You have good juice. Okay. Speak to me about the cancellation of Rewives this week. Did I not call this? All our fabulous listeners, did I not say? Maybe I just said this to David behind the scene, but
when did you say it? Let me tell you. Wait, tell us what you said.
I said this is going to be the year of the great podcast cancellation for a lot of people because they're not going to know how to weather, you know, what's going on behind the scenes. For people that don't know, is Apple did a whole reshift in the fall of their downloads. So when you subscribed to a show 5 years ago, you downloaded that show every day automatically, and it counted towards our downloads. Then in the fall, they reshifted, and they basically said, if you don't listen to that episode within X amount of time, we consider you a non-subscriber to the show. So really, they're really measuring the people that are most
that actually are listening, right?
Are actually listening. So by the way, people need to go and resubscribe to our show and listen every day. Even if it's for like 2 minutes. Behind the Velvet Rope, the Sarah Fraser Show, go and click subscribe for us right now. We love you guys. We want to keep giving you amazing content.
You know why? I mean, I hate to throw threats around here. I'm very hungover today, by the way. I mean, look, the model is still, I think anyone that has a Patreon only is a fucking moron. That is not the podcast model. You and I are going to announce some things soon that we're talking about in our but that's not the model. But I mean, eventually, if you want to change the whole model that much, guess what? I'll do no fucking free shows. I'll go have a Patreon only, but that is not the way to go at this point. But everyone, so Sarah's asking you, and I'm just threatening, like, I'll just take the whole fucking thing away and just go, and that's it. I'm gonna go live my life, and it will all be unpaid shit unless you listen. Download.
Two T's have gone all in. They're doing new shows. But in the meantime, Ramona has canceled her show with her daughter. They stopped
Correct.
hosting shows back in November, December. Margaret Joseph's, hers stopped. Our girl Candy Gal from RHOP had one. That's all ended. And now Rewives has gone away. I'm sure there are others that our listeners will remind us are no longer on. So I have two theories on Rewives being canceled. What are yours?
And I'm very sorry that the Saj, my friend Maj, the Saj, I'm sorry that hers is no longer producing. I was on the Sages. Some call her Miss Josephs. I call her Maj the Saj. Why? Well, Bethenny.
Larsa Pippins, they have no longer. Now, some people do a season, but Larsa and Marcus, I think they recorded a couple of episodes. Let me double check.
That never really got off the ground. Everyone's going to say, well, they broke up and they're back to now. I mean, their podcast is kind of phased out, guys. Listen, it's really hard to have a podcast. You and I have said this. I mean, I'm in 5 years here. 5 years is an official legacy podcast. And let me just rephrase, as hard as it is to have a podcast, it's hard to be in year 5 and actually make money. So we have succeeded. We are successes in this genre. I don't know how. I don't even know how.
Larsa, unfortunately, separation anxiety looks as though it recorded its last episode on 11/14/2023, unfortunately.
Time of death. Just call it.
Granted, Marcus Jordan is Michael Jordan, who's worth probably $5 billion. Son. So I don't know that there's a lot of financial.
Well, that's why Pippin, might be a little bit interested in this younger gentleman. I mean, honey, I think there's a lot of other reasons she's interested too, if you know what I'm saying. But what's your theory? I mean, look, Bethenny, in typical Bethenny fashion, has put out a statement that she is the problem. Bethenny has announced that she is the problem, and here she is launching a reckoning, and she is toxic as fuck, I think she said about herself. That sitting there and stirring the pot and talking about Teresia's table flip, and please don't let it be about Tom. Well, it is about Tom, honey, and the sisters, the Richards, and the car. You stole my house. And that Amsterdam trip, you're a beast, Eileen Davidson says. Oh, how dare you? And then Lisa Rinna smashes a glass. Don't you ever talk about my husband. Kim was implying Harry was gay. We all know that. We've heard that out there. Look, what do I think? You want my opinion? You'll give me your opinion.
Yes,
I think that I think that Miss Frankel is a total spin doctor, that Bethenny Frankel would never, ever in her life, her arm would have to fall off before she thought she was too toxic to walk away from something if it was making money in the business world. You failed, and that's okay, Bethenny. You have done very well for yourself with Skinny Girl. You are a very smart businesswoman. You have made a ton I am not taking any of that away. We all have failures when we increase our portfolio. This particular thing failed in your portfolio. You failed at Rewives. It's okay. You can say those words. This is the biggest spin I've ever seen, that she's too toxic to talk about this shit. But on your other podcast, you're going to interview like Nene Leakes and this one and that one. Bullshit. You failed. So I think it's a whole spin that she's so toxic she had to cancel herself. You made $1 and you don't want to do it for free. Bethenny, I got you. I ain't doing this for free either. When this Behind the Velvet Rope doesn't make money, I'm just going to say I fucking quit. Just be honest. Go on.
She's going to need our tips. She should have called us, but
she should
interesting. I have two theories. One is that it did not make any money, which is why it's going away, because her, she had this whole verbal diarrhea spiel of how I've realized it's toxic. And, she goes on and on and on about how could she do this? But I also have another theory, which is, I think it made a little bit of money, maybe enough to pay the producer every month.
Yeah, it definitely made something because it charted and right. Sure.
But back to my point of Rachel Levis, can Rachel keep her podcast and pursue these lawsuits that she's doing? I believe Miss Frankel is behind a lot of the Brandy you know, we know that the reality reckoning is really of taking down Andy Cohen. I don't believe she can be out there advising Brandy, advising Rachel, which you know they are allegedly very close, when she has a podcast that is all about, you know, toxicity and trashing everybody and all that stuff. And then she's advising these people to sue Andy for his alleged behavior in trashing people and wanting them to do cocaine and all this stuff. She can't be capitalizing and making money off of all that toxicity, and then also being the backbone to advising these women on taking him down. And this, you know, I guess reality reckoning is still alive. Because I do not think, unless there was a legal reason or a legal perception reason that's coming down the line, I think even out of her sheer ego, she would have kept Rewives going. Even though I think, to your point, it probably was not making much money at all. But I believe there is something deeper there, that she is very instrumental behind the scenes. She seems like she's taken a bit of a step back on TikTok with some things. And even the brand, like I said, even the Brandy versus Andy video she did, I thought she held back a bit. She, you know, refrained from sticking her opinion in there about Andy. Something else is going on behind the scenes.
Interesting.
Advised probably by Garagos and all these people to go, you know, you're making money off the exact franchise that you say you hate. You want a reality reckoning for. You know, you're just grandstanding the entire time on it, how great you were. So you participated in this so-called toxic thing, which people are using this against Leah McSweeney. They're saying to Leah, you didn't appear one season on Roni and then go, oh my God, this is awful what they're doing to me, the psychological warfare, you know, I've relapsed. You kept coming back for Girls Trip, another season.
I mean, let's also not discount that Leah would still be there if I mean, she thought she was going to be asked for this reboot because she was the young downtown one, right? Like she would be on the fucking show if they called her right now and said, you want a show? I think she might say yes.
All right, that's a rap-a-tat-tat with my guy, David Yontef. So Yont and I will be back tomorrow. A lot of other scoop going on with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Kyle, Mauricio. When is this divorce happening? The RHOBH reunions. We break it all down. Bye, everybody.